Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. My name is Plummy, and in this episode of Raid Decay, I'm gonna be reacting to GOT7's recent comeback, it is one comeback, but it's two music videos, those being Breath and Last Piece. And from what I understand, this was like a double music video kind of comeback, kind of like what ATEEZ has been doing with their comebacks, where they release two music videos. But before we get into the reaction, we have to talk about the obvious elephant in the room. And that is that GOT7 are going to leave JYP. I honestly can't believe that this is happening. GOT7, while not my favorite group, has been a group that I've listened to ever since I became a K-pop fan back in 2016, and they were actually one of the first K-pop groups that I ever listened to with their song Just Right. That was the first song from them that I heard, and actually their song Hard Carry is probably the reason why I'm into these kind of hard-hitting kind of K-pop songs nowadays, because it was pretty much the first comeback that had that kind of song, and I loved it so much, even though I would say the first song like that I really liked was probably BTS Aspire. But Hard Carry was definitely the first one that was a comeback that I really liked like this. So they're pretty much the reason why I'm such a huge fan of these kind of hard-hitting, rap-heavy K-pop songs nowadays. And yeah, I am saddened by this. I know that for a long time GOT7 has been mismanaged by JYP, and a lot of people are blaming JYP, the person, for this, but I don't know if it is necessarily his fault, because he's not the CEO of the company. He is the creative control, I believe, or something like that, but he's not really a CEO. So while I definitely understand why some people are quick to judge and blame him for this, unless we have an actual proof, which I don't think we'll ever have unless GOT7 decides to talk about it after they leave the company, I don't think it's fair to necessarily attack him, because I understand that GOT7 and Day6 as well have been mismanaged by the company. But also, I don't know how many of you know that, but there are different divisions in the JYP company handling different groups. I believe GOT7 and Day6 are in the same one. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. But Twice, I believe, is in a different one, or maybe it's GOT7 and Twice that are together, and Day6 and ITZY are together, and Stray Kids and 2PM are together. Like, I know for Stray Kids and 2PM being together, and a lot of people love the division under which Stray Kids is, but I've seen some videos about the Stray Kids managers being some assholes towards Stray Kids, or being too controlling and restrictive. So this kind of departure by GOT7 from JYP, and considering how many artists in general have left JYP over the course of the existence of the company, makes me worried about Stray Kids, if I gotta be completely honest, because Stray Kids is currently my favorite K-pop group, and they're probably going to be one of my favorite groups forever in general. And I don't want to think about the possibility that after, what, 5 years from now, it's not even 5 years, it's 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, it's like 4 years from now, there's a, not even 4 years, it's like 3 years from now, and they're going to leave the company. I mean, as long as after they leave the company they still stay together as a group, that'll be fun. But I just don't want to consider the possibility that Stray Kids might be over halfway point of Stray Kids' career. I just don't want to think about that. And seeing GOT7 and all of them leave, and comparing the sentiment that both groups have, where with GOT7 they've said that it's going to be 7 or none. Either all of them are going to be part of GOT7, or none of them are going to resign with the company. And I'm pretty sure the Stray Kids has the same sentiment, because they've always been like everybody they've always been like this, where they want all the people. Like, there's always been this sentiment where one team, 9 members or whatever, although now it's 8 members. So I don't want to think about the possibility of Stray Kids going the same route with GOT7, although I don't think they will, because Stray Kids have much bigger creative freedom, which I'm pretty sure is one of the reasons why GOT7 chose to not re-sign with the company. And I don't understand in that case, why doesn't the company just allow them a little bit more freedom, especially if it's gonna bring more sales to the table, because nowadays K-pop fans, I would say, love the groups themselves writing a lot of their music. And even though GOT7 doesn't have really my favorite kind of music, and besides, like, they're not really my favorite, and even with title tracks, they're not really my favorite, if there are people who enjoy them, I don't think they would be against that. So I don't see why they should be so restrictive with the creative freedom of the group. And even though them leaving the company doesn't mean that they necessarily disband, I'm curious to see whether they're going to go solo activities, which is most likely what they will, or whether they might do something like what Beast did when they left, I believe it was Kpop. They created their own company and their own name and everything. So I'm curious if GOT7 is gonna do the same thing. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. So yeah, I'm sad about it, but if the members are happier this way, it's obviously the right decision for them. And yeah, I've always underrated them as a group, because they just never have been my favorite. I've always listened to them occasionally and in the background, but I've never really paid too much attention to them. But I still will miss them. It's sad that we're getting to the point, it's so weird, because it's just suddenly all third generation groups are starting to disband or just not continue activities. Like, for example, even COC, there's a possibility that they will disband, because I'm pretty sure they have to resign soon as well. And we heard about Elki's situation. I believe it was Elki who has problem with Kpop and will be leaving the company and the group, although I'm not sure about the information. I just know that there's some issues with that, and she's not happy with the company and she's suing them, I believe. But yeah, it's just like last year everything was going great for all these groups, and now they're all disappearing and disbanding and leaving the companies, and I don't know. I hate how it's just like a switch. All of a sudden they're disappearing. Because even until some point last year, I still didn't feel that much different from most of the time that I've been a K-pop fan, from most of the actual third generation. It hasn't even felt like fourth generation that much. But now that we have these third generation groups starting to disband or enlist or all those stuff, it's really starting to sink in that we're genuinely in the fourth generation, because fourth generation are pretty much the groups that are currently the most active ones. But yeah, this went a little bit too long, so let's get back to what you came for, aka the reaction. But also, before we get into it, I just want to quickly say, if you end up enjoying this video, I would really appreciate it if you end up going to my Patreon and donating either an amount by your own choosing, or subscribing to any of the tiers that I have created. But before we get into it, I just want to quickly say, if you end up enjoying this video, I would really appreciate it if you go over to Patreon and subscribe to any of the tiers that I've created over there. Because as much as I love doing these videos for fun, and we will continue doing these videos no matter what happens, no matter whether you guys decide to support me over on Patreon or not, I still need to support myself in some way, and currently the only way I can do that is by you guys supporting me over on Patreon. Because I actually can't make money on YouTube right now because of two reasons. One, I don't have 1,000 subscribers, and that is a requirement if you want to make money off of AdSense. And two, even if I had 1,000 subscribers, which we are already about halfway through, we're almost at 500, I still wouldn't be able to make money, because these videos, like the K-pop reactions, get claimed by the companies who own those groups. So any of the money that I could have possibly made off of these videos go towards the companies. So literally the only way I can support myself is by you guys going over to Patreon. But if you don't want to do it, and I'm saying this because I don't want to guilt trip you into helping me out, it's completely up to you. Don't feel bad if you can't or don't want to support me. You can still help me out in other ways, like liking this video, subscribing to the channel and checking out my other videos, or sharing this video with someone who you think might enjoy it. Other than monetarily help, those three things are the second best way you can help me out. But anyway, I've talked long enough. Let's get into the reaction, and we're gonna start it off with GOT7 Breath. So let's get into it in 3, 2, 1. Okay, what is with GYP and these stupid resolutions that they're doing for the music videos? I hate this kind of resolution. I prefer 16 to 9. I hope they go out with a bang with this comeback. I like their outfits. God damn it, Young Jae. I forgot how much I like him. Okay, I actually kind of like this. It's interesting, I kind of like this. I didn't expect to like it that much, really. It's definitely not as explosive as I usually would have preferred, but I like it. The whistling is really catchy. I kind of like the chill vibe of this song. Youngjae looks different. Man, Mark is so skinny, what the hell? Honestly, for a chill song, I find it so infectiously catchy. Why is Youngjae wrecking me so hard? Like, he's my bias in GOT7, but even in this song, he's freaking wrecking me. It's also so weird, in my opinion, to see him acting like this in this video, being so, smiling so much throughout it. I've never seen him smile so much. Man, I'm gonna miss them. Cherish what you have while you still have it. Okay, so on first listen, I'm actually pleasantly surprised by this. I think I've mentioned many times before whenever I've reacted to GOT7, which is a couple of times, that their music has always been like, I don't know how to exactly describe it, but not necessarily bad, but some of their more recent music, especially since like since I would say maybe 2018, since they released UR, has been a little on the bland side for me and surprisingly forgettable. Not to shit on them or anything, but that has been my experience with them. Like, I believe they had a subunit called Just 2 with JB and Yugyeom, and that song was so forgettable. I literally couldn't even pay attention to it as I was watching it. Like, that might have been just me, because back then I was really overworking myself with the reactions, but it was so forgettable. Like, the song was still forgettable, even if some of my reactions to it might have been a little exaggerated. So I was kind of expecting that to be the case with these songs as well, but I'm honestly pleasantly surprised. It's catchy. It's catchier than I was expecting it was going to be, but it's still not really as explosive or as powerful as the last song of theirs that I really like, which is Not by the Moon, which I think is their last comeback. But I really like Not by the Moon, and that one also surprised me how much I liked it, and it's one of the songs that I've listened to the most in 2020, and even made it to my top 20 K-pop songs list. So yeah, for the music video there was some interesting camera work, but I am really annoyed by the aspect ratio of the music video. I don't understand why is GYP doing that so much with their boy groups. Like Stray Kids, I believe their last two comebacks have been like this. It's just so annoying when editing, because I kind of set up my recording so this part of the screen here where the music video would be, I wouldn't be ending up behind the screen, but then with this aspect ratio the music video box ends up being a little wider, so it is a little annoying because of that. And yeah, makes it a little bit more cinematic, but then also if you're watching the music video on YouTube and not on your computer with like VLC Media Player, it's just annoying that the actual window is like this when it's usually like this. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to react to it a second time, but I'm actually pleasantly surprised and probably will end up listening to this song, although I just wish it was as explosive as Not by the Moon, which wasn't even in itself that explosive of a song. It's just, in the chorus, it dropped a little more. For this one, it's more chill and playful, which is okay. I still like it, but I just was wishing for that explosive chorus, you know? Yeah, we're gonna get into it again in 3, 2, 1. I like the outfits in this opening here. I love Youngjae so much. He's so underrated. And he has so much screen time in this music video. I think this might be one of my favorite music videos of theirs, just because of how much screen time Youngjae has. Okay, it's interesting. In this song, Mark and Bam seem to be singing, not rapping, really. So yeah, this song is definitely more of a bop rather than a banger. That's honestly the best way you could to explain this song. Is it the hair that is making him look so weird to me? I think it's the hair that makes him look so different. I mean, the last time I was kind of surprised by the way he looks was in Never Ever when he had like blonde hair. And I still think blonde hair Youngjae is the best. Like I say, I don't know how I'm feeling about the fact that the rappers are singing in this one. I mean, I know that the group had like this was supposed to be like a self-made album, so maybe that was their own decision. But I don't like that. I don't like that. Unless like the members are super talented and it's clearly it's very clear that they have the skills to be a mind-blowingly good singers, like let's say Han from Stray Kids, who could easily be a singer, like an amazing singer. Like his vocals are amazing, but he's a rapper first, of course. So unless you are kind of like that, I say stick to what you're doing for most of the time. You can do like singing sometimes if you're a rapper, but it just always bothers me. Because of that, I mean, this song already is very singing based. I mean, this song is already very much singing based, but I feel like having actual rapping, which I guess we do have little bits of it, but having actual rapping would have kind of changed the pace a little bit and made it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of rappers singing too much, really. I say stick to what you do best, in a way. Unless you're amazing at everything, stick to what you do best. And I know that might sound harsh, but that's how I feel about it. But yeah, overall, I like this song, but as I said, it's just more of a bop, and I was wishing for more of a banger. But it's still a good song, and I'll probably listen to it a lot. And, I mean, I'll definitely listen to it a little bit at least, just because, Youngjae has made such an impact for me in this music video. But yeah, I don't really have too much to say about this song, if I gotta be honest. There's not much to talk about. It's playful, it's kind of fun, and it's a bop, and I like it. In terms of rating, I think I'm gonna give it a solid 8.4 out of 10. It probably could be a little bit more, but it is kind of in that range for me. Bops don't really go higher than a 9, so yeah, for me to be more than a 9 out of 10, you really have to blow my mind, and it's very hard to impossible for a bop kind of song to do that, really. Because bops is just the kind of song you might listen to in the background. It's not gonna be something that you would go out of your way to listen to express some kind of emotion. And that's kind of the reason why I listen to music most of the time. It's because like I'm feeling angry, so I want an angry song. I feel sad, so I want a sad song. And whenever I feel like, okay, I do other stuff and not really listen to music, you know? Yeah, it's still a good song, but and I'm impressed by how good it is actually, that it's not forgettable and that I actually enjoy it and find it catchy. But I was just hoping for more of a banger, which I don't really think the next song, Last Piece, is going to be. With a title like this, and with the context of this literally being their last song in a comeback, because they're gonna be leaving the company, yeah, it's probably gonna be a sad song. But who knows? So without further ado, let's get into it in 3, 2, 1. Okay, is this one gonna be the higher budgeted music video? Wait, did they have two Youngjaes? Yeah, I feel like this is more in line with what I was expecting the last song to be. And yeah, this one they actually seem to have the rappers rapping. Man, GOT7's vocals have really improved a lot. Like, I'd never before really noticed their vocals too much, but last year and this year I've really been impressed. I just cannot get over the fact how skinny Mark is. I really like the choreo of this one. There's a lot of, like, I don't even know how to explain it, but a lot of these kind of like very majestic, I don't know if that's a word to describe it, but lots of these kind of like theatrical movements with arms and legs and everything. I really like that in music videos, but sometimes it could really come off forced. In this music video, it really doesn't. I really like it. But I gotta say, it is a little weird to see some of the members dance like this, because like I expect this kind of dancing from like Yukyeom and maybe JB, but it's weird to see like Jin Young or Mark or Jackson. Also, Youngjae doesn't really have that much screen time in this one comparatively. At least I didn't notice him that much. I really like JB's outfit here. Okay, this one is definitely a little bit more interesting to me. Okay. So I guess we did end up with more of a banger of a song. Even though it's still not what I would call a banger, it's definitely closer to that definition than the last song. But yeah, there's a little bit more to talk about this song. At least personally, I have a little more to talk about this song. I like the choreo in the last one a lot as well, but in this one, it definitely jumped out even more. And I already said why, but I just really like that kind of choreo a lot, and it just really works with this song. I'm glad that this song actually had rapping compared to the last one, which was pretty much more singing based. And it's good that they had like two contrasting title tracks. I think if you're gonna be doing two title tracks, that's what you should be doing. Do two completely different things with the title tracks. But I do have a little bit of a criticism because I don't feel like these two songs were different enough. Because yes, you could still define the last song as a bop and this one as a little bit of a banger. Especially during that part of the chorus, and which had a little bit of a more harder instrumental, and I'm gonna point it out when we listen to it the second time, exactly what I'm talking about. And yes, you can define those two songs as bop and a banger respectively, but I feel like they're not really that far from each other. Yes, the last one was more chill and funky, and this one is a little bit harder, but it's still like, if you put like GOT7 at the center, they're like one or two parts away from the center, from what usually GOT7 releases, you know? So yeah, we're definitely gonna listen to it a second time before I say my final opinion, so let's get into it again in 3, 2, 1. And I know that I've made this comparison a lot, even with their last song, Not By The Moon, but this kind of choreo just reminds me of BTS's Fake Love. Because it's like the first song, or at least the most recent song, that I really noticed this kind of dancing. Yeah, there was two Yu-Gi-Ohs. Honestly, all things considered, I feel like these two songs are just two different versions of the same song in a way. As I said, they're not really that far from each other. It's just like two different takes on the same concept. Maybe that could be another way to describe it. And yeah, where the hell is Young Jae in this music video? The choreo is definitely really cool. This part is where the instrumental goes a little harder. I wish more of the song had this part of the instrumental, because I feel it would have allowed it to stand out a little more compared to the last song. Okay, seriously, why does Young Jae... Why is he completely absent from most of this music video? Was he busy shooting the last one? Because in the last one, he was very prominent. Please comment down in the comments, because I'm curious about that. Like, right here, it's like the big review of Young Jae. There's probably some context that I just don't understand because I don't really follow them that closely, so please comment it down below. I really like this part of the song. It's by far my favorite. Okay, I'm not waiting for this part here. Okay, so ultimately I would say both of these songs ended up pretty much exactly where I expected them to go. And in terms of quality, they're pretty much exactly where I expected them to go in like the best possible way, if you understand what exactly I mean. But I feel like this song maybe was a little bit lower budgeted compared to the last one. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but yes, of course, because it's like 2 music videos, they would reuse a lot of the sets from the last one, especially in the last music video there was the set where Jackson was sitting, and in this one they are dancing for a decent part of this music video right beside that spot. And when they dance in that spot, it feels like a little bit of a low budget music video, like something which a Nugu or just a rookie group will do. It's weird to see it from a veteran group like GOT7, you know. So maybe that might have something to do with the way they're being managed by GOT7. Maybe that's something that bothered them. I don't know. It's just something that I thought of as I was watching the video a second time. Sadly though, for this song, on the second listen, I kind of felt a little worse about it because I found it maybe a little bit less catchy. Or should I say more, I felt a little bored towards the end of it, right before Youngjae appears. I don't know why, maybe it's just I'm tired because I've done so many music video reactions today. But I just felt a little bit bored by it, and I was starting to lose my attention and my focus on the music videos, so I don't know. But it's still not a bad song. Like, both of these songs are pretty good, and I'll probably end up listening to them at least a little bit. But I don't find them as catchy as Not by the Moon, for sure. I won't end up listening to them as much as I did for Not by the Moon. So I'm actually not, for once in these like last few reactions, I actually don't think I made a mistake by not waiting to react to all the comebacks from 2020 that I still haven't reacted to before doing the top 20 K-pop songs of 2020, because I actually added the best GOT7 song of 2020 into that list, which you can check out on my YouTube channel. Just look up top 20 K-pop songs of 2020. So yeah, for the rating of this song, honestly, I would put it about the same, maybe a little lower, but it doesn't really feel worse. It's, as I said, just like 2 versions of the same song, like 2 sides of the same coin. So I'm honestly gonna give this one an 8.4 as well. Like, neither song goes too far into what exactly they're trying to do. Like, the first song is not that much of a bop, like as much as it could be. And this one is not really as hard-hitting as it could be, so yeah, they're pretty much GOT7 songs. That's the best way to describe them. And as I said, GOT7 are not really my favorite group, but they've always been like on my playlist, like more of a, I've always been more of a casual fan of theirs. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. You probably can expect my reaction to the B-sides of this album relatively soon, in the next like month or so, because I still have to do about like 10 to 15 music video reactions of music videos from 2020, and I'm trying to keep up with all the comebacks during 2021 so that I don't get overwhelmed as I did in 2020. So it's gonna be a little while before I get to reacting to the albums, but what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna go backwards in 2020 until I get to the point where I stop, which means like I'll first check out the comeback, the albums and the B-sides of comebacks from December, then from November, October, September, August, and all the way back to where I stopped. But yeah, as a last comeback, I mean, it's okay. It's nothing too mind-blowing, and I would say they ended off as a group on a good note, not a mind-blowingly good, so I'm not like, damn it, they disbanded when they just got really, really good. But they ended up on a good note, so yeah, and who knows, maybe they're just going to leave the company and still be a group together. We don't know for now. We can only speculate. But I do hope they stay together as a group, or at least do projects and releases as a group. But yeah, Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe. Also, check out the description to my Twitter if you want to follow me there, and to my Wattpad where I post my stories, because in addition to doing all these videos on my channel, I'm also a writer. And if you enjoy my stories or you simply enjoy my videos, you can head over to Patreon where I can pledge support and help keep the channel going, help support me so I can keep writing the stories you enjoy. But if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. You can still help me out in other ways, like liking this video, subscribing, and especially sharing this video with somebody who you think might enjoy it. And I think it's pretty much it for this video, so hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!